So congratulations, Epeneri. It's we're all very pleased and very happy to see you succeed, and you have finished your bachelor's degree at the Queensland University of Technology. And indeed, I think you have done an excellent job, and you have been a true ambassador for people back in Fiji.
Yeah.
And I think you sort of in the years that I have known you, you've struck a balance between school and friends and family, and your commitment to the world at large. So I'm sure you must be very happy that it's all over, at least for the moment. So you have been very closely associated with the Sea Project, and I think you have been very instrumental when it came to doing some of our outreach projects in Fiji. And I think, dating back to our days when we had the first activity in Sambeto, and then Somosomo, and even though this year you didn't go to Balata, you are still very much involved. So what has the Sea Project meant to you?
Again, thank you very much, Uncle, for the kind words of so far, what the Sea Project has meant to me, it's at the moment I'm very passionate about what this Sea Project is doing, and what it has done. It has actually opened up an opportunity for Fijian students here abroad to be able to contribute and be part of this organization, which is playing a very important role in education in Fiji, with the giving of resources to them and monitoring all this, the progress in schools. Again, it comes down to how the students in primary school and secondary schools, how they actually gain, what they actually gain out of it. So to me, what the Sea Project is doing is, what it means to me is that it's giving back a lot to Fiji. And I think it's our duty as Fijians here abroad and also back in Fiji, and these teachers, to play a part in affiliating themselves with the Sea Project, making it work.
Yeah, and I think you have kind of touched on the second question, which was how can the Sea Project add value to education in Fiji and other developing countries? And I think, as you've said, we are providing resources. We're also trying to find ways in which we can help the teachers use the resources effectively. What, from your point of view, why are these resources so important?
First of all, when you look into the schools in Fiji, some of these schools do not have anything at all.
That's true, yeah.
And when it comes to students' education, you need to be well equipped to be able to educate them. And with the new things that's coming about, the technology, they have to get up to date with what's happening. Unfortunately, things that has been around from the 1990s is still around today, in terms of library books. Computers that we still use back in 96 with the 3.5 floppy disks, that is still around today. So you can see how much the schools lack.
Yeah, I think that's very true, and I think you're talking about the 90s, but if I go back to my time, from the 60s, I guess, one of the things that motivated me to get involved was an empty space that used to be my library when I was a student, and then I saw the same thing when I went back to Fiji. So one of the main focus areas we are trying to get the children up to speed with print and digital literacy. So we want them to read, and that's why the libraries have been so important. Now, you have, and I must say that we are very grateful that you have made a number of trips to Fiji and you have explored what's happening in schools. And you have, through your own resources, gone back to Somosomo a number of times just to see how the resources were being used. And we have actually put that in a video. But what sort of changes have you noticed? Like, we were there in June, July last year, which is 2014, and then you went back almost 6 months later. What kind of changes did you notice in what the students were able to do?
When we got there in June and July, when we did the project, all the students were curious, and they were excited with all the things that we brought in. And I thought it would be like any other project. But when I went back in Feb 2015, there was progress. Students were confident. And in the videos, it showed how these students were able to stand up and talk one-to-one with other students as well, interviews. And students, they were able to do speeches. And when I went back to Somosomo District School, what I saw was that the students who were very weak in classes, in the class 8 classrooms, their teachers, it was through the initiative of that teacher. She played a very important role. She would stay late up till 5 just to educate them, just to give the slow ones more time. And what they did was that in the library book that Auntie Ramila had done, the categories that she had done, she made the beginners, middle, and the advanced. So what she did with these class 8 students, she used the beginners to them, and that actually improved. And what I saw was that these students were reading and they were enjoying reading. So when they would come up to me and they'd talk about what they had read, and then when it came to the computers, they were just playing around. They knew how to work their way around the computers. Those were the few changes that I'd seen. And if you're able to support these kind of projects, I'm sure that we can get more out of them.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I think the point that you made about teachers is so important, you know. Resources go in schools, and if teachers are not willing to step outside the boundaries and put in a bit of effort to make these things happen, and I think some of the teachers that you have at Somosomo, they have done an exceptionally good job, you know. And I think that they are the ones who make such a big difference. And I think, again, it's only been 6 months when you sort of, it had only 6 months had passed when you went to Somosomo and you saw those changes. And which was very positive. Did you see did you get any feedback in terms of the students who had gone to high school? I mean, how did their knowledge, even though it was only for a short time, how did they compare with students from other schools in high school?
So the teacher that was teaching the class 8 students, she mentioned, told me how the students that was there last year during our program, how they had performed when they went to high school. One of the things that she had said was that the students at Somosomo District School, when they went to Buddha level secondary school, usually they were the last men down. They would be, yes. So usually at Buddha level secondary school, the Somosomo District School students would be trailing behind the other schools that was Nangara Primary. They were better off in terms of their learning. But surprisingly, when these students went to Buddha level this year in 2015, they seemed to be topping the class. And the teacher had introduced some of these small schemes, as in getting vocabularies book and getting new words from the books that we had sent. And they, now that they're in secondary school, Form 3, they're still continuing that. And that is a very big thing. Yeah, I think that was one of the things that actually boosted their learning. And now she said that they can see that they are more excited when it comes to learning.
So, from your point of view, and I guess from the teacher's point of view, is it that they now had more confidence with reading?
Yes.
That was making a difference.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that makes a lot of sense, because unless you can read, you really cannot progress in school, you know. And I think all those observations that you made are exceptionally good, and I think it does show that we are making a difference, you know, like the initiatives that we are taking is making a small difference, but at the end of the day, it's up to the stakeholders in schools.
Yes.
And what they can and how much they want to support these kinds of things. Now, you will leave us in the next couple of days, and I guess your impact has been quite significant here in terms of what you have done. And I think one of the points that I've made to quite a few people is your connection with this project has been very genuine. Now, how do you intend to support the project in future? Like, what are your thoughts about how you can engage when you go back to Fiji?
I think what the SEA project is doing right now is very important. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to doing is supporting the SEA project from Fiji. How am I going to do that? Try and get all the students, not all, but we need a few committed students who see the outcome in this project, you know, see getting those few students who are passionate, and then try and work with them and liaise with the SEA project here in Fiji, in Australia, in Brisbane. So if we have a SEA project running in Fiji, I think it'll be more effective.
Mm-hmm.
We can assess the schools in our respective districts and see how it is doing. We can send Parnil, who's from Sigatoka, if he's doing, because I'm sure the boys and girls that are back in Fiji now, they'll have work. But I'm pretty sure that when it comes to doing something for their own district, for their own province, they'll be more than willing to do anything about it. So we can just send Parnil, who's from Sigatoka. Parnil, if you're doing electrical work in Sigatoka, just check on this unit, this school. And then he can just go to the school, tell them I'm from the SEA project, and this is why I came to see the assessment, you know, and how it is. And then give a simple report back to the group, and then we can send it over to Australia. In doing so, it strengthens the bond, the connection between us here in Fiji and Australia. Mm-hmm. And also, it makes it more effective to the schools itself. So you can't, when you're sending computers and resources to the schools, we know that it is being used properly. It's not just going as a donation, because most of these schools, when they take donation, that's it. They forget about sending the report back. Mm. So if we are able to do that, if we are able to get a few together, and if we run under the SEA project, I think it'll be very effective.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a great idea, and that's been one of our biggest problems. You know, we send things away to different schools, and at the end of the day, it's on trust that people will use it. But I think the worst part, I guess, the most disappointing, disheartening part is when the resources aren't used properly, then it's the children who are the losers. And I think both you and I will agree that we have worked in Fiji, and children are, I think, no matter where they are, if you try and create opportunities for them, they do respond, you know. And I have seen some amazing things that children in Fiji can do and have been able to do, and it in many respects it's no different to what I have seen in Australian classrooms. So Epeneri, I think we are very thankful for the time that you have given us this afternoon, but more importantly, we are very grateful for the support you have given the SEA project, and also the support that you are thinking of giving the project in future. On behalf of the whole Sea Project and our organization, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best. Enjoy Fiji, and hopefully we will meet again and see how things are going.